Morning. What up? Good morning!
Get out!
Wake up! You're so You guys played the game. Act like you're sleeping. I'm playing the game. Look at who do you think this is going to?
Hi guys. Today, I'm going to go over this story I came across about a really unlucky guy whose wife broke up with him after cheating on him. The interesting bit is why she left him, as you will soon find out. So, to make things interesting, I'll go through the story and keep sharing my opinions on it, so that we have a step-by-step account of what happened to this man and how I think he should have responded. I'll also share the moral lessons that we can all learn from this unfortunate man's experience and ensure that we don't face the same issues he had to face as a result of the decisions made by him and the actions taken by his wife. Let's begin. The story is about a couple in their early 40s. They have a daughter who is now 8 years old. He shares how his wife abruptly requested a divorce through a message over the phone. This comes after years of her complaining about how her husband was not ambitious and did not earn enough money to take care of her. This is even though this man earns a solid salary as an anesthesiologist. They live in a beautiful home and are upper middle class. They travel, and they even drive expensive automobiles. However, it makes no difference because it is all insufficient for her. He makes all the money. She just works part-time. We can say that they live a comfortable life and living, except for the relationship between them. Over the last year or so, the guy developed a suspicion that something was wrong. Soon enough, she found a boyfriend and decided to file for divorce. In the end, you'll find that her lover, who, by the way, earns a lot more money than her husband, was not an ideal partner, and that money doesn't solve all your problems. Here's the shocking bit. After the divorce, the wife gets dumped by her lover and now wants him back. Women are constantly on the search for someone who earns more money and can give them a better lifestyle, even after dating a man for a long period of time. Does this imply that every woman will act in that way? No. But it does teach us something valuable. Women can be a bit short-sighted when it comes to money. They believe that most, if not all of their problems are going to be solved by money. Also, women can have distorted morals, and their loyalty is always tested when it comes to money, fame, and influence. They're also not in tune with their age. For example, in the story, the wife is 42. I've seen plenty of attractive women in their 40s who maintain their health and stay fit. They ensure that they eat well and look their best. However, since they're still over their prime age, they're still not what they want to be and look like. But they believe they can still treat nice guys however they want, and they'd still be wanted and desired by them. That's one of the problems with nice guys. They're too nice. They're so nice that they set a precedent about how others can treat them, and keep on treating them as doormats because they don't stand for anything. A woman can do anything to them, and they'll be okay with it. In most cases, the wives of nice guys are used to taking their advantage over and over again, and not being called out for any of it. Be nice, but please have some boundaries, and don't be afraid to let women know what they are. So the guy shares that he's been married to his wife for 12 years. They have an 8-year-old daughter. He's introverted and has worked at the same hospital for many years, while she has worked as a part-time real estate consultant. Over time, things changed, and the wife he used to come home to now barely had any time for him and was never at home in the first place. He continues to share how his wife constantly criticized everything about him after about 8 years into their marriage. She called him names, said that he looked aged, and was just too boring. Guys, please understand this. When a woman starts to criticize everything about you, talk to her. Communicate. Ask her what's wrong, and if he can do anything about it. Don't let someone bring you down like this. This guy is stereotypically nice and keeps taking criticism without communicating. And if you're wondering why isn't he defending himself? What has global history demonstrated about individuals, nations, or groups who are passive and allow aggressors to abuse them? This simply encourages more bullying. Nice guys don't stand up for themselves. They let themselves be walked over. Never let anyone do that. You're only going to hurt your own self-esteem and integrity. In the story, the woman's basic issue was that she believed the guy wasn't ambitious enough for her. She couldn't bear that he was content with an upper middle-class lifestyle that was just marginally superior to that of the ordinary family. He admits that he would have made much more if he was self-employed, but the money he was making was enough to get them a house in a good school district with 2 luxury vehicles. Being in business for yourself is not for everyone. Many people prefer working in a comfortable job that pays a decent amount of money and offers a stable life. He goes on to describe how he's always tried to live up to the standards expected by his wife. How he thought he needed to keep everything going for the sake of their daughter. He describes instances where his wife would burst with affection for him, but on other days, she would fight and argue over every little thing. He even encouraged her to go to therapy. Then, in the midst of the workday, he receives a text from her informing him that she was divorcing him. Guys, keep in mind that most females always have a backup plan in place in case they split up with you. Therefore, there will be another guy ready to replace you. This man sort of knew that something else was going on because she had completely stopped arguing with him. She told him that she would be subletting an apartment from her friend, but it soon became clear that she was really living at another place most of the time. That's how we learned that she had been having an affair with a man who was an acquaintance. That left him shocked, especially since she was the one moving out and had left their daughter. He then hired a private investigator to find out what was really going on. Turns out she was cheating on him for more than a year. The other guy had never married. He is a 46-year-old businessman with 4 firms all generating over 7 figures. He was on multiple real estate boards and was known to be charming, but had a reputation for having private 2 to 4 year love relationships that ended quietly, but ultimately, he never settled for anyone. Long story short, she left him for a wealthy man after filing for divorce. But in about 6 months, the wealthy man, she had left him for dumping her, and she had nowhere to go. So while she stayed with one of her girlfriends, she started contacting our man and begged him to take her back. So guys, what's your take on all of this? What would you do if something like this happened to you? I think, and this goes ever for the nice guys out there, there are 3 important points that you should always remember in relationships. Number 1, set the tone. By this, I mean, you have to set the tone of the relationship right at the start. That's the time when the other person is getting to know you. Be real. Be who you are. Tell her where you see yourself in the future. The tone you set at the beginning of the relationship is the expectation you're setting up for the rest of the future. If you're a Mr. Nice Guy at the start of the relationship, you will be expected to be the nice guy for the rest of your life. If you change into Mr. Bad Boy after a couple of years, your partner is going to feel that you faked being nice in the first place. Number 2, have boundaries and respect them. For any relationship, it's crucial that you set boundaries for yourself and communicate those to your partner clearly. Do not, under any circumstance, let yourself or the other person cross those boundaries. Why? Because when those lines are crossed, they're going to keep crossing those lines over and over again. And after a while, any boundary you set will not be taken seriously at all. Number 3, communicate. Talk about everything. Tell your woman how beautiful she looks. Tell her how you love it when she lovingly sits on your lap. Tell her how you don't like it when she calls you names. Be honest with her. Be clear with her. Clarity of thought and intention is one of the most important aspects of a long-term relationship. It also allows her to open up to you about anything she'd like you to do as well. And this communication becomes the strength of your relationship. So that's the story for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.